The GI Bill betrayal, how America refused to honor black soldiers after every war. Imagine this scene. A young black man named Thomas Williams returns home to Georgia in 1946, his Army uniform freshly pressed. He fought for the United States in Europe, trudging through the cold mud of the Ardennes and carrying wounded men on his back under sniper fire. But now, back on American soil, he is no hero. White neighbors stare with contempt. Job offers vanish the moment he walks in the door. When he tries to apply for housing assistance through the new GI Bill, the loan officer tells him his paperwork is missing something. When he tries to enroll in college, the registrar says there's no space for him. Meanwhile, white veterans are building homes, enrolling in universities, and starting businesses, thanks to the same benefits Thomas was promised. This wasn't a glitch in the system. It was the system. From the Civil War to Vietnam, black service members have fought with valor, only to return home to closed doors, rigged rules, and broken promises. And the GI Bill was one of the cruelest betrayals of all. The Civil War, fighting for freedom, then left with nothing. Nearly 200,000 black men served in the Union Army and Navy during the American Civil War. They were not even citizens when they enlisted, yet they joined in droves, knowing the fight was not just about preserving the Union, but ending slavery itself. Many served in the United States colored troops, often in the most dangerous positions with the least training and worst equipment. After the war, there was no GI Bill. There were no veteran pensions for most black soldiers. In fact, many never received their back pay or land bounties. Freedmen's Bureau programs to help them were dismantled or sabotaged. Some were even re-enslaved under black codes or arrested for vagrancy if they were unemployed. Their reward for winning the war was often jail, poverty, or lynching. World War I, Soldiers Abroad, ends at home. Over 350,000 African-American men served in World War I, but their return to America was met with violence. The summer of 1919 was known as the Red Summer because of the wave of anti-black riots that erupted across the country. White mobs attacked black veterans in their uniforms, fearing they would forget their place. In Elaine, Arkansas, black sharecroppers organizing for fair treatment were massacred. In Washington, D.C. and Chicago, the streets ran with blood. There was no government program for reintegration and no post-war benefits beyond a few broken promises. The idea of helping black veterans move up in society was too threatening to the racist status quo. World War II, the GI Bill's promise and its poison. More than 1 million African Americans served in World War II. They worked in supply lines, aviation units, and even combat roles, despite being segregated and often mistreated by their own commanders. The Tuskegee Airmen became legendary. Black nurses and medics served courageously. And yet, when the war ended, the GI Bill, which should have been a golden ticket to the middle class, became a weapon of exclusion. The Servicemen's Readjustment Act of 1944, also known as the GI Bill, was designed to help veterans attend college, buy homes, and start businesses. But the bill allowed local banks, schools, and officials to decide who qualified and who didn't. In Mississippi, thousands of black veterans were denied home loans. In Louisiana, they were turned away from universities. In Pennsylvania and Illinois, they were tracked into menial vocational programs, while white veterans became doctors and engineers. A 1947 study found that fewer than 100 of the 67,000 mortgages guaranteed by the GI Bill in New York and northern New Jersey went to black veterans. Meanwhile, entire white suburbs sprang up overnight, their wealth secured by federal loans and black exclusion. The Korean War. Same uniform, same disrespect desegregation in the military, officially began in 1948 under President Harry Truman, just before the Korean War broke out. For the first time, black soldiers could theoretically serve alongside whites. But theory and reality were far apart. Tens of thousands of black men served in Korea, fighting in brutal cold against waves of North Korean and Chinese soldiers. Yet, when they came home, the racism persisted. They were often denied GI Bill benefits by local agencies, especially in the South. College admissions officers still turned them away. Real estate agents still steered them into slums or refused them entirely. Veterans like Herman Sweat of Alabama reported being told, "Don't waste your time applying. We don't give loans to people like you." He had earned a Bronze Star, but not a mortgage. Vietnam: the price of sacrifice and the cost of color. By the time of the Vietnam War, African Americans were overrepresented on the front lines and underrepresented in leadership. They made up about 11% of the U.S. population, but 20% of combat troops during the height of the war. Many were drafted from impoverished neighborhoods, sent to the most dangerous zones, and returned home physically or emotionally scarred. The GI Bill was still in place, but the damage from earlier wars was already done. Black families had missed out on decades of generational wealth. And despite some improvements in enforcement, local prejudice continued. Predatory lending, poor schools, and housing discrimination still blocked the way. A 1970s government report admitted that black veterans were significantly less likely than whites to benefit fully from GI Bill programs. Today's echo: descendants fighting for the reparations. They were denied. In 2021 and 2022, lawmakers introduced the GI Bill Restoration Act, a proposal to offer educational and housing assistance to the descendants of Black World War II veterans who had been denied the original benefits. The bill has gained traction but not yet passed. The injustice of the GI Bill is not just a past issue. It is a living wound. It robbed millions of black service members of the American dream. It created a racial wealth gap that still exists today, and it exposed a brutal truth. In America, even service and sacrifice are not always enough to earn respect or opportunity if you are black. Scope News sources. Scope News tells the truth. Here are the facts. This report is based on research from the Black Veterans Project, the Journal of Policy History, Brookings Institution, and University of Minnesota's Mapping Prejudice Project. Special thanks to the Oral Histories archived in the Library of Congress Veterans History Project and the writings of historian Hillary Herbold for helping uncover the racial reality behind the GI Bill's legacy. Legal disclaimer. This Scope News essay is intended for educational, informational, and entertainment purposes. Viewer discretion is advised. While every effort has been made to present historically accurate material based on verified sources, some interpretations or reconstructions may be limited by the availability of archival evidence. This content may explore sensitive topics and systemic injustice. Scope News honors the legacy of the veterans featured and aims to reflect their stories with dignity and truth.